unified world champion at 147. Those are facts. But I feel like people that he has fought have been tailor-made for his style and what he does. And
while the boxing world is busy crowning Jaron "Boots" Ennis as the next pound-for-pound superstar, Xander Zayas is getting ready to prove that he is not just another rising name, but someone who can challenge the hype and show that it may have been built up more than it should have been, potentially bringing a harsh reality check to those expectations.
Shock. Every single one of my opponents have been into a shock every time they step into the ring with me. It's easy to see me and, oh, he's a 23, the 22-year-old kid, just young kid, no experience. Once he get hit, he's gonna want to get it right back. And it's a whole different story when you step in there with me and you see the knowledge and the maturity.
Zayas quickly fires back with supreme confidence, declaring total dominance over the division and warning his opponent that he is stepping into the ring with a natural-born killer.
I could fight, I could box, I could do everything in there. And inside that ring, I'm the natural 154-pounder. So I've been here for a long time. I'm here to keep taking over the division, and I'm excited to continue that legacy. And
the tension escalates further as Zayas hints that he has already spotted serious weaknesses in the champion's armor, choosing to keep those details hidden until fight night.
There's always things. Again, there's a lot of holes that I know I can take advantage of come fight night, but I don't want to discuss them on cameras because obviously it's part of the...
Ignoring the critics entirely, the young phenom makes it clear that this fight is about reaching legendary status and dismantling anyone who stands in his path.
I'm here to chase legacy. I've always said it. I want to be the best in boxing. I want to be the best in my division, in every division that I touch, and this is the way to do it, fighting the best.
Faced with questions about his age, Zayas confidently shuts down the doubts by pointing to his battle-tested skills that make him a complete and dangerous threat.
I'm very mature for my age, and I've gotten the experience that I need. I've gone rounds. I've seen everything that I need to see. I've gotten hit. I've been able to adjust. I think I've done everything. I know how to fight on the inside. I know how to fight on the outside. I know how to counter punch. I got great speed, great power. I feel like I do everything pretty well. So yes, I do.
With the mega showdown officially set, he sends a strong message to the rest of the boxing world, daring other fighters to stop hiding and match his fearless mindset.
I hope so. I mean, we made a big fight happen. Two big fighters, two young fighters, hungry fighters wanting to chase legacy. We made it happen, and so I feel like it should set an example for the future. But again, who knows? I mean, every fighter is different. Everybody lives a different lifestyle, and I can't be the one to say yes, I want it, or it's gonna be like that. I would love.
In one final chilling warning, the Puerto Rican fighter guarantees a commanding and impressive win that will put an end to every doubt permanently.
I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win any means, any way necessary. I'm gonna come out victorious like I always do. Winners win, and that's what I do. And June 27th, tune in. I'm gonna put on a show like I always do. It's gonna be a hell of a fight, and I'm gonna represent.
Brian Norman Sr. steps into the discussion to completely dismantle the narrative and alert the boxing world to the remarkable fearlessness of this young challenger. He confidently points out that most fighters spend their entire careers avoiding real danger, while Zayas is relentlessly pursuing greatness at an age when many are still choosing the safer path.
I'm 16 years old. Xander was assigned professional, unassigned to the top rank at 16 years old. He's 23 years old and he's taking a bigger chance than your favorite fighter took at 23 years old. He's taking a bigger chance than your guy took at 20 years old, 20 years old, 26 years old, 27 years old, 28 years old. You feel what I'm saying? He's gonna be 29 years old. Damn near 30. Is that a fact or no? No, he took a tougher chance. I know, I can't see. But I know how these people...
The intensity hits a boiling point as Norman Sr. breaks down the champion's intimidating aura and questions the hype built around him. He cautions that the so-called division monster is still just a man once forced out of his carefully protected comfort zone.
But these young niggas, though, we know y'all need a superhero. Your superhero is going to show you he's a basic guy. It's the environment. Hey, look, you have not been in the environment. I have been in the environment. The environment is his gym. It's the environment. That's why he don't leave it. The environment is his gym. You come to his gym, you in his house. You in his domain. You in his...
Refusing to back down despite backlash from angry fans, Norman Sr. doubles down on his blunt reality check. He also targets the critics, ridiculing those who are offended simply because someone finally had the courage to label what he sees as a hyped-up fighter as nothing more than an ordinary competitor.
Good fighter. Mind you, these niggas was mad at me at your last video. I know you saw them in the comments. I'm like, do y'all understand y'all mad at me because I'm saying they're not special? I didn't even say he's not good. I said he is good. I said he's good. Grown men are mad at me because I said...
Greg Hackett steps in to bluntly break down the situation, sharply questioning the challenger's credentials. He argues that fighters with similar skill sets can be found everywhere in the champion's hometown untested and clearly out of their depth.
Xander is a good fighter, but where he is in his career as far as what he's learned, he's never seen nothing like Boots. For Boots, we got guys like Xander in the city. We got guys like that just ain't heard of yet, or they just ain't never get their shot, or they might be a little over the hill. But we got a bunch of guys walking around like that. I'm saying that because not that Boots is sparring those guys. I'm saying we have guys like that. That's just, you know what I mean? That they can handle that. Boots is on a different level when it come to, you know, boxing. Like when it just come to boxing,
The discussion takes a more ominous turn as Hackett points out the wide gap in accomplishments that clearly favors the reigning king. While he gives the young fighter credit for stepping up, he warns that moving from carefully managed bouts to elite-level wars could quickly turn into a recipe for disaster.
20 situation.
80-20.
Yeah, I got it like an 80-20 because it's just like Xander is. See, what people fail to realize, Xander turned pro as a kid. You know, he was still a teenager. Yeah, he was still a teenager. So it's like a lot of those fights early is for him to do exactly what he was doing, just working on shit. But now it's like, all right, you stepping it up, you champion, but now it's like, oh, we gotta fight. Now we fight, you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I think it's just his inexperience as far as fights like this. This is a hell of a fight to be in after becoming unified champion. But I respect Xander on a whole different type of level because a lot of guys wouldn't have taken this fight, you know, this early in their careers, especially after winning.
Hackett predicts a violent and clear ending, pointing to the later rounds where exhaustion and pressure start to take over completely. He explains that no matter how good the conditioning is, it stops mattering when you're facing someone who has the power to finish the fight with one clean, heavy punch.
I think like 8, like in the 8th round. You know what I mean? Because it just becomes too much. It becomes too much with See, guys work on defense, right? Guys work on their fight game, but they don't push themselves. They think they do because they do strength and conditioning. That's not pushing yourself in boxing. That's just yourself physically. But I'm talking about pushing yourself where you got a guy who in the gym, he's trying to knock you out and you got to really keep off you. But not only the kind of guy that's trying to knock you out, the kind of guy that could knock you out.
Hackett wraps up his breakdown by questioning the challenger's preparation, cautioning that overly cautious training habits are likely to fall apart under the bright lights. He emphasizes that avoiding tough sparring partners can leave a fighter unready for the harsh, high-stakes reality of fight night.
See, guys, when they pick sparring partners, they pick guys who gonna fight, but they don't have the or they pick guys who gonna be in but they don't have the experience, or they pick guys who gonna be in but they smaller. You know what I'm saying? It's things like that. And he got to get prepared for war. You know what I mean? So that's no knock against a Tiger Johnson, but Tiger Johnson was once a 40-pounder and now a 47-pounder. Xander's been a 54-pounder since the beginning. So you know he's naturally a bigger man. So you sparring guys like that, I get it for the speed or whatever, but it's like he's not trying to really get you out of there. I mean, you need somebody that's gonna put your life on the line in the gym. And I'm not saying every sparring session need to be like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is though, you gotta have guys who really trying to put something on you so that your awareness level could be high.
Richard Torres firmly stands in the challenger's corner, reminding everyone of the close bond they built during their amateur days. He warns the public not to make the mistake of overlooking a proven champion who possesses the relentless work ethic required to shock the world.
You know, I grew up in the amateur with him, and I think a lot of people are underestimating who Xander is as a fighter. He's a two-belt world champion, and he's a hard worker. He does his thing, and I know Boots is a great fighter, but I really think people are underplaying Xander's capabilities, and I'm going Team Xander.
Laying out a tactical path for an upset, Torres describes how the naturally bigger fighter can turn the tables on the favorite. He argues that if the young contender dictates the tempo and uses his size advantage against the champion, the whole fight could shift in a way that surprises the critics.
Xander's punch output can be a little bit better, and Xander's just ring generalship he can kind of dictate that fight a little bit more. And if he asserts his pressure and asserts his size, I think he's a bigger fighter than Boots as well. Then I think it would be a different fight than what people are.
Coach Kenny gives a chilling assessment of the challenger, predicting a brutal stoppage while pointing out a major defensive weakness that could be very costly. He notes a clear tendency to keep his head still during exchanges, an error the champion is expected to exploit with sharp and punishing accuracy.
8, maybe inside 5. I like what's his name? Xander. I like him, but I noticed something with him. When he's in offense mode, his head is just sitting there. And you can go back tonight and watch all of his highlights. He don't know how to roll punches. He blocked pretty good. He got angles, but sometimes you gotta roll. And he don't roll. And if a person don't roll, you don't even have to look. All you have to do is go over their shoulder. You're gonna hit it because they don't know how to roll.
The prediction grows even more ominous as Kenny imagines a slow, methodical breakdown inside the ring. He cautions that whether it arrives from a crushing body shot or a sustained flurry of combinations, a decisive knockout appears nearly unavoidable.
Clean joint or a systematic breakdown?
It might be a body shot. Boots a bad man. Combination of the two. You know, take your time, set it up, and follow through.
Legendary former champion Winky Wright turns attention to the huge stakes of this matchup, reminding everyone what it really takes to build a lasting legacy. He argues that an unbeaten record doesn't carry much weight without a defining career win, pushing both fighters to put everything on the line in the chase for true greatness.
Fight, man. The division looking good right now, you know, and I just want to see all the fighters fight each other, man. The best need to fight the best. That's what's going to bring the fans to boxing. And, you know, you can only be great by beating somebody great. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have a bunch of wins, but no great win. You're just a good fighter, but you want to be great, you need to beat another great fighter. So they got the opportunity.
Renowned trainer Manny Robles steps forward to praise the young fighter's courage for choosing the dangerous route instead of an easier path. He emphasizes that very few champions would risk their standing against an elite-level threat so early in their career when they could have easily avoided it.
Fight, and I respect Xander Zayas for taking the fight. You know, you can't say that about a lot of people nowadays. For him to grab 2 of the belts, and for him to step and say, I'm going to fight one of the best fighters in the world, that says a lot. That says a lot about the kid. And he's young. He doesn't. I believe he could have taken another. He said it, and I agree with him. I believe he could have taken another fight, but instead he decided to take on this fight and fight one of the best fighters.
The narrative grows even more compelling as Robles highlights the challenger's star power and unshakable mindset while recognizing the massive challenge ahead. He stresses that this matchup unites 2 rare fighters who refuse to back away from facing the very best.
Like Xander's a personal friend, and you know, great kid, super humble, grounded. I love everything about the kid, and you know, he's got the makings to become a superstar. He's gonna have his hands full versus the, you know, Jaron Ennis, and it's just gonna be a great fight, man. Ennis is proven one of the best fighters in the world in the weight class, of course, and he's never afraid to take on any you know, a fight. You know, he's one of those guys that's more than willing to fight the best, and so is Xander, so you gotta respect him for it.
Delivering a final, thrilling reminder of how fast everything can change under pressure, he highlights boxing's chaos and unpredictability, where one punch can rewrite history. He warns that while every fighter enters with a perfect game plan before the opening bell, the real test begins the moment heavy shots start to land.
can happen in boxing. One punch is just, everyone's got a plan till they get hit in the face, right?
Yep.
Like Mike Tyson used to say. So we just gotta wait and see how the fight plans out, works itself out, but I definitely believe that Xander has a chance. It's gonna be
As the tension reaches a fever pitch and the talking finally comes to an end, this explosive showdown promises to reshape the entire division. Both fighters are putting their unbeaten records and championship dreams on the line in a high-stakes clash where one mistake could mean disaster. This is where hype meets reality, and only one man will come out standing. The boxing world remains split as experts finalize their predictions and anticipation builds to a breaking point. When the smoke clears on fight night, we'll find out whether a new superstar is born or an established dynasty continues its dominance. The question is what happens when the opening bell rings and who walks out with their legacy intact. Will the challenger expose the flaws he believes he's found? Or will the champion shut everything down with a statement performance? Can youth, size, and power dictate the pace? Or will experience and discipline take over when it matters most? And if the fight goes deep, who has the mental and physical endurance to survive the ultimate test?